Hi everyone, Bernard here. I hope you're all staying safe and well, and welcome to my film and TV channel. And we have a film review today. We're going to have a look at what other people are saying about it, thoughts good and bad. Mainly good for this one, I must admit, and also what I feel about it. Yeah, a bit in between with me today, but join me as we have a look at a film called First Cow. Please, if you're new to the channel, push that subscribe button, push the bell notifications, all these film reviews, do TV drama reviews, information vlogs on what's out to buy on DVD and what's coming on the cinema, etc, etc. And you'll also see some stuff on my football team, Manchester City, as well. So if that's of any interest, or you know someone who might be interested, please point them in my direction. I do lots of City history, City present, City quizzes, book clubs, you name it. I do it on my football team, Manchester City. But it's films today. We're going to have a look at this First Cow. And I do post loads of stuff on Facebook and Twitter. So if you're after any friends or followers on there, please seek me out. There's some links on screen there. And I do check every 2 or 3 days and follow and friend everyone back on there. All comments are very welcome, especially on this film. I'll be interested to see what you think. I say it's one of those films that is unanimously appearing to be liked by the critics, but obviously not so mixed on the audience. Most of the audience seem to enjoy this, but it's one of these films that you have to sort of like the director. I think if you like the director's stuff on this, you'll be all right. So let me know in the comments what you think anyway. And please, if you've no time to comment, just give us a thumbs up. It's nice to get views, but it's nice to get thumbs up as well. Right, this is at the cinema in the UK, here in the UK. Please check your territory. From Friday the 28th of May, so as I'm recording this, just a couple of days away. There may be early screenings as well, so just check your cinema listings wherever you are. It's a 12/8 certificate, 2 hours 2 minutes. Yeah, that's part of the problem for me, to be honest with you. It's a drama directed by Kelly Reichardt. There you go. So that sort of perhaps tells you a little bit about the film. I've not watched much of her stuff, to be honest with you. I think this is the first film of hers I've watched. From a screenplay by herself and Jonathan Raymond, based on Raymond's novel The Half-Life. So if you've read the novel The Half-Life, you may have an idea of what's going on. It stars John Magaro as Otis Cookie Figovitz, Orion Lee as King Lou, Rennie Auberjonoux, please forgive my pronunciation, as Man with the Raven in one of his final film roles, sadly. Toby Jones is the chief actor. Nice to see Toby. I do like a bit of Toby Jones. Ewan Bremner as Lloyd and Scott Shepherd as captain, plus a few other little characters as well. What's it about? What's the synopsis? Well, it doesn't overly read exciting. A skilled cook has travelled west and joined a group of fur trappers in Oregon, though he only finds true connection with a Chinese immigrant also seeking his fortune. Soon the two collaborate on a successful business. Yeah, that's basically it in a nutshell. Is it any good? Well, here we go. Here's all the positivity from the critics we look at. Rotten Tomatoes, the film holds an approval rating, a positivity rating of 96%, based on 187 reviews, with an average rating of 8.4 out of 10, not too shabby. And that 187 reviews is broken down into 179 fresh and just 8 rotten. So some people didn't like it. The consensus reads, First Cow finds director Kelly Reichardt revisiting territory and themes that will be familiar to fans of her previous work. Well, there you go. This sort of sums up whether you're going to like this or not, I think, with typically rewarding results. Time Magazine's Stephanie Zacharek, she's one of the top critics on Rotten Tomatoes. She said, a picture that's both tranquil and dazzling, two qualities that should be at odds with one another, yet somehow bloom in tandem under Reichardt's gentle touch. Ty Burr, another top critic for the Rotten Tomatoes from the Boston Globe, said, First Cow is as confident and as organic as storytelling gets. As rough edged as it is in style, it's absurdly rich in ripple effect. And the Rolling Stones' David Fear, another top critic for Rotten Tomatoes, Kelly Reichardt Manifest Destiny epic in D minor gives you the feeling that you've just witnessed a major work from a great American filmmaker. Rotten Tomatoes audience, well, yeah, this is the first little murmurings of discontent. Yeah, there's a 61% positivity, so about 30% down on the critics. So the audience aren't quite as convinced, are they, based on that? Metacritic, the other critic site we look at, It's got an average of 89 out of 100. Again, very, very positive based on 41 critics, and 39 of those critics gave it a positive review, and just 2 gave it a mixed review with 0 negative reviews. And it scored anywhere between 63 out of 100. The lowest score was from Slant Magazine's Keith Ulich, who gave it 6.3 out of 10. But he said the sense of nascent community rising up out of the primordial muck is palpable. It certainly is. So it's unfortunate that John Magaro and Orion Lee's characters ultimately feel outside it all, but perhaps that's what they're meant to feel. I mean, perhaps that's the whole feel of the movie, to be honest with you. They are sort of outsiders within the context of where they are. So that's not really criticism. But then again, he give it 6.3 out of 10, so he's not really criticised. I think he's just looking for some things that didn't quite work in the film. The Guardian's Peter Bradshaw, 10 out of 10. You know I don't give anything 10 out of 10 apart from Sergio Aguero from time to time. But The Guardian's Peter Bradshaw said, it is a tremendously engaging story which does something that very few movies do. Mention money, something very palpable is at stake. The jeopardy is real and it's a question of survival. Yeah, again, I wouldn't disagree with too much of that. The ones that really matter, Joe Public, you and me, Internet Movie Database, the users rating is 7.1 out of 10. So still obviously not as high as the critics, but still a very, very good score. And that's based on 11,429 reviews. And of those 11,429, 9,745 of them have scored it 6 or more. So there you go. That's the public. So the public, although there are dissenters in there, as I said, pretty much agree with the overall performance of the film. Right, on to my little thoughts now, just little me, what I think. Yeah, I mean, you know me, I like to be entertained with a film. I don't mind a good story, I don't mind a good slow drama, you know me. I'm very eclectic in my taste of any film. And of course, all the negativity I did spot when I was looking through the reviews on Internet Movie Database, which obviously is all the negativity is mainly coming from the public. It revolves around a very, very slow storyline, and that's how the director does it. So obviously if you've seen this director's work before and you quite like that, then be prepared for it. That's all we can really say. There's a lot of darkness in it as well. There is a lot of darkness scenes. There's stuff shot at dark. Obviously they're doing various little jobs at night when obviously they can't do them in the daylight because they're being naughty. But there you go. Yeah, there is a little bit too dark at times, but hey, that's just part of the whole atmosphere of the film. It is a 2-hour film in my mind, and we'll get onto that later in my conclusion, that perhaps could have been put into a 30-minute episode, but it's of a raw Western drama series, if you like. But I did like the elements of showing the time and the place. I'm very into history, as you know, if you watch any of my vlogs or football things, very into my history. So I did enjoy that dirty, grubby feel of the old West, you know, the old trailblazers, if you like. But all credit to the director. I mean, obviously this 30-minute episode, she got a 2-hour film out of it. All credit to her. She's very good at this, and putting perhaps, because it can perhaps be called a work of art on screen, and obviously from a filming point of view, from an actual acting point of view, etc. And it's no surprise really that the critics came out almost unanimously in liking this. There's no great vista shots in this, which I do like in an old Western film. I wouldn't have minded the old pillars there that you see in the old classic Westerns. There's no great vistas in this, and to be honest with the impact of the trees got a little bit monotonous, and the old buildings got a little bit drab for me after a while. I quite engaging at first, as you say, being a history buff, but after an hour and a half, hour and 3/4 of watching woods and old wooden shacks, it became a little bit monotonous. There's one or two interesting characters thrown into the mix as well, but it all revolves, of course, around the two main protagonists, who were very likeable, nothing wrong with them, but as I said, they always seemed sort of, as that critic pointed out before, they were always seemed out of it. But I think that was the whole point of the film. Well, for my view, I'm no great looking deep into these things, but I think that was the whole idea, to keep them quite separate. But what did annoy me, I know it's a very minor quibble, of course it is, but obviously they were likeable. They were actually doing a little, I'm not going to give them too much away, they were doing a little bit of thieving in here, and all I wanted, and they wanted something for nothing, didn't they? All I kept thinking throughout the last, say, half of the film was, why not just offer a little bit of payment for what they're taking, rather than nick it, and they'll still make plenty of money. But that's greed, isn't it? That's greed for even these two guys who are trying to make a buck and trying to make the way in the Wild West, if you like. yeah, they just annoy me, the fact they didn't offer to pay for what they were taking, and it would have been, as I say, they would have still made lots of money and been successful in it. So yeah, so obviously we wouldn't have had a 2-hour film then. Again, that perhaps if they'd agreed to make some sort of payment, it would have been stuck with a 90-minute film, perhaps. I'm not too sure. I won't particularly seek out Kelly Reichardt's stuff, but she is very, very good at what she does. I mean, and I say I didn't mind it. If I stumbled across something, I probably would watch it. But what I really enjoyed about this film was the actual the start and the beginning. I thought the start and the beginning of the start and the end of the film. The start and the end of the film were excellent. The way they combined together, and I thought that was very clever. And I like this sort of thing in a film. So I'll give it plaudits for that, and give the director plaudits for the storytelling, if you like. I did like some of the in between, and I suppose that's all that matters really. And I fully understand those who loved it, and I fully understand those who couldn't stand it. I can appreciate both aspects of it. I do like to rewatch good films with family and friends, and I can honestly say that I won't be rewatching this at any stage, or it may be on in the background, but I'll be doing something else if you actually watch it with someone. But it's not a film I could heartily recommend to anybody, to be honest with you. If you're familiar with the lady director's work, as I've already said, then this is probably a not miss film, isn't it? Otherwise, tread very carefully. Looking at the Internet Movie Database stats before we go, yeah, older watchers seem to like it a little bit less than younger viewers. So perhaps that takes us back to us having a little bit less time in life left, I suppose, and perhaps that takes me back to considering it should be a 30-minute short film and not a 2-hour film. But old buggers like me haven't got as long left as some of you younger guys, so that's probably looking at that stat probably sort of backs that up just a little bit. So my rating, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10, which is my watchable rating, because I know some people will love this and enjoy it, and I know some people will hate it. But I'm going to give it a watchable rating. I'm not going to be unfair, because I did quite enjoy it. As I said, it's 2 hours that I've perhaps it could have been 30 minutes lost, but it was 2 hours of my life I won't get back. But it was okay, and that sort of score mainly is for the beginning and the end, which I thought was sort of made it for me anyway. It made the start of the film and the end of the film came together quite nicely, so I quite like that. I mean, I know it's a silly thing to say, but if you do watch it, you'll understand what I mean anyway by that. But there you go. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. I'm not going to go as mad as a lot of people, but anyway, let me know what you think if you get to watch this. As I said, I certainly won't put you off going to watch it, but you've got to like Kelly's work. I think if you like, have you seen any Kelly's work, or if there's one you perhaps can get a watch of before you go and see this, please do so, and you'll get a view for what we're talking about. As I said, this is showing from UK cinemas from Friday the 28th of May 2021, so please check your territories. Anyway, thanks for joining me. Whatever you're going to do this day, have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More importantly, let's all look after each other. Till we meet here again on the Film and TV channel, or perhaps have a look at my Cities and my Football channel. Whatever it is, I only ask you to do one thing. Stay safe, everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.